I'm going to make a pumpkin pie, and not the American version that's quite sweet. This is a savoury pie using some phyllo pastry. So I've roasted some pumpkin. I've just cut them into 2 to 3 centimetre pieces along with some onion and some sage. I've got about 1.5 to 2 kilograms of pumpkin for this recipe, so you need quite a lot because we are making a large pie. So for the ricotta mixture, we need to start with some feta. So a whole block of good quality Greek style feta, and you want to crumble it up. And the cheeses for this recipe can completely change. In fact, I like to make this pie when I do have leftover cheese from a cheese board. This is a great opportunity to use it up. To really bulk this out, I'll need some ricotta. It also keeps everything really moist. So just open that pack. This is 1 kilo, so we only need half of this. Cut that in half. And you want a really nice dry ricotta. See how that's dry? Because it's actually in a strainer here. And we'll just use a big spoon to scoop that out. To bind everything together, 1 egg, and you can just give that a rough whisk and then straight in. I'll also add a pinch of nutmeg because nutmeg, pumpkin and ricotta, best mates. The zest of 1 lemon. And whenever you're using quite a lot of zest in a recipe, it's a really good idea to wash the lemons because sometimes there's a little bit of wax on the lemon. We want to get rid of that. So give them a really good wash when you're using it for a recipe like this. Now for some extra sage. So I did roast some sage with the pumpkin, but I do love the flavour of it. So just a few sprigs, 4 or 5 extra ones, and I'll just grab a knife and just finely chop that. Sage is quite strong in flavour, so you don't want chunks of that. That should do it. In it goes. Back over to the pumpkin. So before we add it to our mixing bowl, we just want to break it up, just mash it really roughly. See, I haven't got too much colour on the pumpkin. All right, I'm happy with that texture, and let's just scoop that straight into the bowl. Look at those beautiful colours. Fantastic. Right, just use a spatula to really get in there and squish that. This does look like quite a lot of mixture, but I assure you it will all fit in our lovely pumpkin pie. Great, we can pop that to the side. Let's get on to the pastry. So phyllo pastry, you can get this from so many different supermarkets and delis now. I like to bring my phyllo pastry out of the fridge at least 1 hour before using it. You want it to come to room temperature because it's just much easier to handle. So we'll just unroll it, pop that to one side. I've also melted some butter, and I've made clarified butter, which just means that I've removed any of the milk solids. So we'll take 1 sheet of phyllo, pop it to one side, cover with your tea towel so it doesn't dry out. And with our butter, we're just going to brush one of the sheets with the clarified butter all over. And it's always quite handy to have a large pastry brush because within a few strokes, it is done, because we do need a few layers. So into a springform tin. This is a 20 centimetre springform tin, and we're going to lay that in. I have pre-buttered it. You want to be quite gentle just to place it in there to form the base. So it looks a little rough here, but bear with me because I'm going to add many, many more layers of phyllo, almost into a star pattern. We want this excess phyllo to overhang because at the end, when I've got the filling in there, we're going to fold it back over to form the pie. Okay, I've got the pie base ready to go. So let's fill this with our delicious ricotta and pumpkin filling, and we'll just dot it around the base. And we want to compress that in. It's a really hearty style pie. We don't want any air bubbles whatsoever. So press it down and really get it into the sides. A little more. And then just use your spatula to spread that out so we've got quite an even top. Great, look at that. the perfect amount of filling. So we can just fold over our phyllo, press down on it, and you see we've instantly formed the top of our pie without adding any more layers. And you see how it's kind of rippled and quite gnarly? That is gorgeous. I think that's what makes this pie look quite pretty as it bakes in the oven and goes quite golden. Press down on it one more time, so really spreading that mixture all the way to the sides. We've got that perfect circle. Okay, a little more butter, and we'll just brush that over the top. Be quite generous with it here. And that can go into the oven as is, or if you want to make it look extra special, a combination of nigella seeds. I love the flavour of nigella seeds. It's got a really nice nutty flavour to it, along with some sesame seeds, and just for some extra crunch, some salt. This now goes into the oven, 180 degrees, and it's going to cook for about 40 minutes or until it's golden brown. Pumpkin pie has come out of the oven. I've allowed it to cool completely, and let's take this collar off. That's why I love springform tins. Look how perfect that looks. Now to take it off the base, what I suggest to do is just to place something on top and just very quickly turn it over. And we'll just take the bottom off. And this is what I wanted to show you. See how crispy the base is? That's why I love to make pies out of phyllo pastry, because it stays crispy from the top all the way down to the bottom. So we want to flip it over because it's so pretty on the other side. So just another plate on top and then flip, pop that down. And then there you have it, and you can take that to the table. This is something that you can serve warm, cold. I have a picnic. This is my go-to dish because everyone loves it. We've got to cut into it so we can have a look. So straight down the center with a sharp knife. Oh, sounds crispy. And a generous wedge. And let's have a look at the interior. Oh, look at that. Chunks of pumpkin, ricotta and feta. It's still slightly warm. The best way to serve this is just with a simple side salad, or if you want to give it a bit of a Greek twist, why not with a Greek salad? That would also work perfectly with our phyllo pumpkin pie.